Today, we're gonna take my stock Mini Cooper from looking like this, and we're gonna make it look, sound, and drive like this. Before we start modifying, let's talk about how we got here. If you've watched our channel, you know that we're huge BMW guys and we never leave anything stock. So naturally, I bought two. And while I love both my X7 and my 330i, I kept going back to the Mini. And being that Minis are made by BMW, all the things that the BMW guys are doing, we can do too. So sit back, relax, and watch us completely transform my Mini Cooper inside and out. Up, let's start with a full color change. Now, as you guys probably already know, we came over here to our guys at TSD Motorsports. Leo is in the back right now wrapping my car. But before we get to that, I am super excited to show you guys the color I picked. So let's check it out. I went with the satin metallic Levante blue from Evolve, and this looks absolutely insane, but it's gonna look way more insane on my car. So let's go check it out as the guys are wrapping. So we got the car back. TSD did an absolutely incredible job. The color looks amazing, but we've done a few additional mods since you guys last saw the car, so let's catch you up. Now, the first thing you'll notice are these absolutely insane 20-inch wheels that are all the way from Germany. Now, stay tuned to the end of the video because we have another set of wheels going on this car. But if you followed our channel, you'll know that these were actually the wheels that were on my G20 330i. So when I sold my 330 and I still had the wheels left over, I thought maybe they'll fit the Mini Cooper. So we threw them on and they fit, even though they're 20-inch wheels. And not only that, they look a million times better than those ugly stock wheels. The next thing we did is while we had the front lip off, we had the wheel arches off, we had the side skirts off, and we had the diffuser off, might as well have them professionally painted gloss black to match the roof line. Now for the last thing, I personally wasn't a huge fan of the interior trim. It was like this weird maroon color. So we actually had Leo and his guys wrap it the same color as the exterior to complement the interior mods that we're gonna have done to this car. Speaking of interior mods that we're gonna have done to this car, I'm going to now install one of my favorite mods, the Recaro Sportster GT seats. All right, and with these installed, let's now talk about some of the next mods on the agenda. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't wait for this one. Couldn't wait to install it. So we already put on the Dinan Performance Axle Vac exhaust, as you can hear. We have a full DIY showing how to install it on this car if you're looking for it. But for now, check out some of these sound revs. Now this next mod is gonna pair super well with that Dinan exhaust because let's be honest, we all wanna hear our turbo. So let's throw on an MST intake and take it from sounding like this to sounding like this. All All right, now that the car is finally breathing easier because of that MST intake, let's talk about where that air is going. So in my hands, I have a demonstration S58 turbo. The air is going to go in through the compressor housing. It gets sent out to the intercooler where the air gets cooled down. Now that charged air going through the turbo is right next to the exhaust housing, and it gets pretty hot. So to compensate that, your intercooler does all the work to cool down your air. And unfortunately, Mini decided it was a good idea to use a small intercooler. So of course, today we're gonna upgrade it with a way bigger intercooler from Wagner. And because this attaches to the charge pipe and the charge pipes from the factory are plastic, we might as well bulletproof them with the Kies charge pipes and do it right. Just like that. Look at how incredible this looks. I mean, the sizing difference alone in this from the OEM, the Wagner, is crazy. And look at this plastic crappy charge pipe thing. It's got these weird little rings on it that constrict flow. With our new aluminum Kies charge pipes, we're not gonna have to worry about any boost leaks, no cracking of plastics. Those are gonna last the lifetime of the car. And man, this Wagner intercooler looks insane. So let's do the next model. We are at my favorite part of the video now that we've upgraded the exhaust, we upgraded the intake, we upgraded the intercooler, and we bulletproofed it with the Kies charge pipes. It is finally time to tune this car so we can get the max potential out of all these mods. And if you didn't already know, with something like my Cooper S here, which comes with about 200 horsepower from the factory, you can gain 80 horsepower with just a stage 1 tune. And you can do that in one of two ways. Either like me, you'll have to pull the ECU out, you'll send it, get it unlocked, and then with the Kies ENET adapter, you'll plug it in and you can flash the car. Or even easier, all you'll have to do is plug this in, flash the car, and you get 80 horsepower just like that. All right guys, we are out here on our very first road test to see how boot mode feels with the extra 80 horsepower. So from a roll here, let's see how it feels. This pulls so much harder than before. It's funny, me and Brian always say the best two mods you can start with is a tune and an exhaust, and that is 100% the truth. I can't believe how much it woke the car up. Yeah! Holy cow. So let's talk about the next mod I wanted to do, and that was headlights. They, as you can see, are on the car, at least on this side. And if we walk over here, you will see my OEM LED headlights. Here's the issue. You would think like most upgraded headlights, it's a plug and play swap, but I already have the LED option from the factory. Now I did know going into this that the upgraded lights that I purchased were to upgrade only for the halogen lights, but I thought, how hard could it be? I could probably repin a couple wires or figure something out. Which color did I pin? I don't remember. I don't know. I'm so over this. Why is this so difficult? We were able to code the car, repin the FEM module, and get this light to turn on. But the real question comes down to, was it worth it? I can't believe we figured it out. That was horrible. No, really, this sucks. Don't do it. You'll have to let us know down in the comments if it was after you've seen some of the footage of what we went through to get it to work. That's the high beam. So 26 goes to 6. $34 and $35 on connectors 3. This is like rocket science trying to figure this thing out. Now, a huge thanks to Isaac over at Beamer Geeks. They are the developers of PROTOOL, which you saw us using. He is an absolute coding ninja, and I could not have done these headlights without him. This project was saved by Isaac, so thank you, Isaac. And if you're looking to code anything with your BMW or Mini, get PROTOOL. It is an amazing app. Now, we're not gonna leave the headlights without upgrading to these smoked out side scuttles. They're sequential, which goes with the look of the headlights. I think they look really cool, so we'll upgrade the other side to that. And also, while we're at it, we're gonna upgrade the taillights. Let's talk about what I know you guys are already thinking. If you own my car, what's the first thing you would change? This ride height. I can't believe I've gone this long with this giant monster truck ride height. It is absolutely ridiculous, especially because these are 20-inch wheels, and look at that. So today, let's upgrade it with a full suspension kit from AGT. This comes with not only 24 settings for your dampening in the front, but it also comes with 24 in the back. You have height adjustable springs that you can dial in your ride height, because let's be honest, some people like it lower, some people like it higher. And a lot of the coilovers that are on the market for these cars actually set your ride height based off of how much you compress your spring. But what's cool about these kits is you actually set your preload, and then you take this lower base and you set your ride height based off of that. So you don't have to sacrifice the ride quality, and this is a super comfortable kit. So let's take some pre-measurements of the car where it sits now so we can compare it to before and after. I'm gonna measure off the center of the hub, and that's because we're gonna be adding some aftermarket wheels at the end of this. 15.25 inches. And in the rear, 14.75 inches. There it goes. Guys, we have the AGT suspension kit set up in the rear. We have it set up in the front, and check out how good this looks. This went on flawlessly, and it's gonna pair perfectly with our brand new wheels from 1552. All right, guys, this color is pretty bold. What color do you think it is? We went with white. They have this cool centering ring, and when you take this off, you'll see that this cover here hides all your bolt locations. So that's pretty cool because it makes the wheel look a lot more clean in my opinion. Now I decided to go with 18-inch wheels as a square setup, and I went with some Mickey Thompson street comps in the 245/40/18 size. Let's get them on the car. Let's check it out. 13.75. Okay, so 1.5 inches. That's perfect. Let's check out the back. 13 3/4, 13 and a half almost. So that's 1 1/4 inches. That's perfect. Look at that. Dude, this looks a million times better. Why didn't I start with this? Now, the only thing with white wheels, even though they look amazing, is I'm going to have a huge problem with, you guessed it, brake dust. So, to minimize that issue, we're not gonna leave our brakes and rotors like this, which, side note, I did already paint the calipers black with G2 paint while I had the OEM rotors on. We're gonna take it to this, some upgraded EBC rotors that are slotted to help with heat dissipation. And as you can see, I've upgraded my brake pads to some EBC red stuff brake pads, which is a game changer if you're trying to fight brake dust. So my white wheels will thank me later. Now, if you're looking for more of a step-by-step DIY on some of the things like the maintenance we're doing on this car, whether that be spark plugs, brakes, oil change, or even some of the mods we've installed on this car, like the exhaust, the intake, we have full videos going in depth on some of these products in today's video. You can check them out in the description below. With that, I'm gonna do the rear brakes and the passenger brakes, and we'll move on to the next mod. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. Now, another thing that I really don't like about this car since I've owned it, especially because it's a 2017 and one might assume that it comes with it, it doesn't have CarPlay. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, I own a BMW X7 and I previously owned a BMW G20. Both having CarPlay, and well, once you've had it, it's really hard to live without. Now, fortunately today we have BimmerTech's MMI Pro, which will integrate with the car, allowing us to run CarPlay or Android Auto. So let's get it installed. Now, while we're installing a bunch of BimmerTech mods, it only makes sense to upgrade the... You suck. Now, if you have a keen eye, you'll have already noticed I upgraded the door card speakers all the way around the car, as well as the woofers while the seats were out. It only made sense to do it earlier in this video. Only one I haven't upgraded is this one here on the top of the dash. So we're gonna upgrade that now, and then we're gonna move on to the Alpha 1 amp in the back. Now, one more really cool thing about the Alpha 1 amp is it comes fully configured from BimmerTech to your personal music taste, yet it's also a plug-and-play system for these BMWs or Minis, which are very difficult to upgrade the sound system for. So having it plug and play makes it super easy, but also customizable. Next up, we are going to upgrade the touch points of my car by installing a new steering wheel and these upgraded Redline foot pedals. But first, we got to decide which steering wheel. Now, after all this effort in installing all of these mods on my Mini Cooper, the last thing I want to happen is for the car to burn down or to get stolen. So today we're gonna be installing the Kies fire extinguisher bracket with the Element fire extinguisher attached, as well as the ATTC, which is the anti-theft throttle commander from Daler. This intercepts the throttle signal, allowing you to have full control and even disable it. That way, if a thief gets in your car and even if they have the key, they can't go anywhere. And last up, we have a Renline phone mount, which literally just installs with one plastic trim tool. And with that, everything is now installed, so it's finally time for the grand reveal.